the founder of OmniPeace Foundation. So 15 years ago, I was standing in the middle of the Hard Rock Hotel in Las Vegas. I was producing the 10-year anniversary of the hotel. I looked around the room, kind of like this, right? Beautiful people having a wonderful time. And I never felt more disconnected, more uninspired, further away from the person that I thought I was supposed to become in my life. Through the most uncanny series of events and experiences and coincidences, we went on to launch OmniPeace. It changed the trajectory of my life. We built our first 7 schools in Senegal, Mali, Malawi, and we educated over 50,000 children. So here I am, I'm thinking, I've done good, I've arrived, I found my passion, I found my purpose. You know, there's that voice in your head that you've heard your whole life. It's so definitive, so clear, and it says, you're not done. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so tired. But I went back to the only source of inspiration that I knew, which was Africa. But this time I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna guerrilla trek in Rwanda. I come to find it's the 5th safest country on the planet. It's the fastest growing country on the continent, and it's the only country in history that will go from a third world country to a first world country in the next 25 years, and it's the most magnificent place I've ever been in my life. We're on our way to trek, the cab driver's taking me, and he looks at me and he says, I want you to build a music school here. He wanted his son to learn how to play, and there were no music schools in Rwanda for children. I politely declined and I went on my guerrilla trek. And it ended up being one of the most profoundly spiritual experiences of my life. I go back in my lodge and I reach for a book that has been by my side for 20 years. And I've read it 100 times. I open to a page and a paragraph I swear I've never seen before. And it says this: your job now is to be at the place where you may be of maximum helpfulness to others, even if that requires you visit the most sordid spot on earth on such an errand. Keep on the firing line of life with all your motives and you will be protected and kept unharmed. And I know exactly what I'm in Rwanda to do, and I am terrified. I go home and I start Googling, I promise you, how to start a music school for dummies. And again, somehow, some way, through the most uncanny of circumstances, series of events, coincidences, we went on to build not only 1, but 2 music schools in Rwanda, including the first music school ever created in a refugee camp. Now, my teacher just happened to be in Rwanda. When I say uncanny set of circumstances, just happened to be in Rwanda. Somebody told me about him a week before I landed and said, oh, my friend Richard Carrick, he's there on a Guggenheim Fellowship Award. He's on his way to become head of music composition at Berklee College of Music. Richard was the teacher. He opened my school. The kids came inside and they didn't want to pick up the instruments. They had never seen, touched, or played an instrument in their whole lives. They said, before we do this, we have to go outside and dance, because it was the only way they knew how to connect to music. They went outside and danced. I went with them. And they danced like they were Maasai warriors celebrating the Great Migration. It was magnificent. They came inside, they picked up those instruments, and here's how Richard taught them how to play. He would have them tap, and on the different parts of their body. Now that makes all different noises. And he matched those taps to chords on a drum, a guitar, or a keyboard. And he turned that into a song. And then each kid, we had 12 kids, each kid composed their own piece of music with their original score, and at the end of 2 weeks' time, kids that had never seen, touched, or played an instrument in their whole life had composed their own original piece of music. It was like we plugged them into a light socket and unleashed all of this talent that was laying dormant inside of them. And all we had to do was hand them an instrument to unleash it. When we give them music to feed their souls with, we put on a new pair of glasses. This year, we're gonna make a little bit of music and a little bit of history, because we're gonna train the first generation of Rwandan music teachers, which means we will go in with Berklee College of Music, and with the Rwandan Ministry of Education and with the Rwandan government and train the first 100 teachers, music teacher. We're going to put a music teacher in every one of the 3,000 primary schools in the country over the next 5 years. So I want to thank you all so much for coming.